To log into the MIG viewer, I need to enter my username and password and click on the login button. So the MIG shared record viewer homepage opens for us, and on the right hand side you can see there is a list of all the organisations who we currently shared with. As we're working on a dummy system, you can see they're all pretty generic on there. So I'm going to select a record from the patient's GP practice, so I'm going to click on the view button next to GP practice A. To view a patient's GP practice record, all I need to do is click on the patient record link. You can search for the patient either by their NHS number or by their demographic details. On this occasion, I'm going to search for the patient using their NHS number. I just need to enter the patient's 10-digit NHS number and click the search button. A list of possible matches will now appear on the right hand side of the screen. As we use the patient's NHS number, only one record's been returned, so I'm just going to click onto the Select Patient button. The legitimate relationship box now appears, and on here you either have to confirm that you've got the patient's permission to view their record, or you have a legitimate reason to view their record. I just want to have a look at a couple of the options there, so I'm just going to click on the drop down list. I'm just going to click on Other. By selecting Other, I have to fill in a free text field. You can see where it says State Relationship, and I have to type in there exactly what the relationship is to the patient and why I feel I should have access to the record. The thing to remember is all of this access is all recorded on the patient's audit trail, so it'll tell us exactly when, where, who accessed the record. Okay, just going to click on the drop down menu once more. Okay, this time I'm just going to select the standard patient has given consent option, and then click OK. So the patient record now appears. On the left hand side of the screen now, a series of links appear, and they take us to the different parts of the patient's GP record. So I'm just going to click onto Summary. The Summary tab gives us an overview of all the other sections. So for example, you can see you've got current problems, current medication, allergies, etc. If we click onto the problem link, the Problems tab opens, and as you can see it's broken up into two different sections. We've got current problems and past problems. I'm just going to click onto the diabetes episode on the 22nd of May so that we can view that in more detail. The recorded problem that we selected now appears in front of us, and as you can see it's broken down into different pieces of information. So starting at the top, you can see we've got the read code, the date and time that it was recorded, the name of the person who actually recorded the problem, in this case it's Dr. Ema's test, the location as well, and then a little bit further down you can see that under the significance header we've got information telling us that this is in fact a significant intervention. Okay, so I'm just going to click onto Diagnosis. The Diagnosis tab opens up for us, and unlike the problems, which are split into current and past problems, you'll see it's all in one list here. And at the top of the list on the 22nd of May is the diabetes episode, so I'm just going to click onto that to open it. The details of the incident on the Diagnosis tab are very similar to those on the Problem tab. So as you can see again, we've got the read code, we've got the date and time of the event, the person who recorded it, and also we've got the severity information further on down. Okay, I'm just going to click onto the Medication tab. The Medication tab is split into three different sections. You've got current medication, past medication, and medication issues. Looking at the current medication tab, you can see that that is split into two different sections. There's a section for acute medication and repeat medication. As there aren't any details about current medication displayed, I'm just going to click onto the past medication tab. On screen now you can see a list of the patient's past medication, so I'm just going to select the one that was most recently issued, which is the paracetamol on the 30th of September. When the prescription opens, you can see it gives us the drug code, the date of the prescription, any additional instructions, and the name of the person who actually recorded the prescription as well. Okay, I'm just going to click onto Risks and Warnings. Okay, so the Risks and Warning tab is now split into two different sections. We've got allergies and we've got contraindications as to why a drug shouldn't be issued. I'm just going to select the lansoprazole allergy. Okay, so this is a significant adverse reaction that the patient has, and it gives them a rash. And you can see that it was recorded on the 25th of April, and it was recorded by Dr. Ema's test. And as I say, it tells us that it's a significant event. Okay, so let's just skip on to the Procedures tab. The Procedure tab is split up into two sections. At the top we have operations, and then below that we have immunisations. I'm just going to click on the flu vaccine immunisation for the 25th of December. So by clicking on the immunisation, you can see that it gives us the read code that was used, the date and time that the immunisation was recorded, and the person who's recorded it as well as their role. Rather than just click onto one of the tabs, this time I'm going to close the procedure by clicking on the header. By closing the immunisation down, I remain on that section, and I could just click onto one of the others if I wanted to, but in this example I'm just going to click onto investigation. So the investigations tab is split up into several different tabs. You'll notice that the first one is recent tests, so anything that's recently occurred will be displayed there. Then it's broken down into other categories such as biochemistry, and that runs all the way along to urinalysis. Okay, so I'm just going to click onto the biochemistry tab. I'm sure this is all becoming quite familiar now. I'm just going to click onto the blood glucose level test. Details of the blood glucose test are now displayed in front of us. Okay, I'm just going to click back to close that. Let's look at the next tab, which is examination. A list of the patient's examinations now appear, and I'm just going to click on the one on the 9th of September, which is a blood pressure reading. The blood pressure test opens up in front of us, and as you can see, it gives us not only the result, but the read code, the date and time that the test was undertaken, and the person who actually did the test. Okay, I'm just going to close that down by clicking on the header again, and this time I'm just going to click on the event tab. The event tab is split into 3 different sections: encounters, referrals and admissions. So I'm just going to open up the most recent encounter. Details of when the date and time of the encounter took place are displayed, as well as the name of the person who actually recorded the encounter. Okay, so we just close the encounter down, and if I select the referrals tab, the referral will give details of the encounter, confirming who the patient was referred to, who were they referred by, and the reason that they were referred. Okay, unfortunately we don't have any admissions information, so I'm just going to go to the final tab, which is patient details. So finally, the patient details tab just holds information about the patient, so it has their NHS number, name and address, their current GP details, and also details of when they were first registered at the GP practice.